If you look past the tailored suits and perfectly manicured suburban lawns of the 1960s, you find a chaotic landscape of broken minds and terrifying realities. The 5 films we are discussing today peel back that pristine wallpaper to reveal the roaches scurrying underneath. These are brutal examinations of human hypocrisy, moral decay, and Catholic guilt, all wrapped in visually stunning packages.
Séverine, je t'aime chaque jour davantage.
Un jour, il faudrait que je vous voie. Sans votre mari, naturellement.
Luis Buñuel's Belle de Jour asks a simple question. What does a wealthy, bored housewife do between 2 and 5 in the afternoon? If you guessed take up knitting, you clearly have not met Séverine, played with icy perfection by Catherine Deneuve. Incapable of physical intimacy with her annoyingly handsome husband, she casually decides to work at a high-end brothel to spice up her weekdays. Buñuel blurs the line between Séverine's reality and her bizarre masochistic fantasies so thoroughly that you stop trying to figure out what is actually happening and just accept the ride. It is a hilarious, biting critique of bourgeois morality, proving that having too much money and free time will eventually lead you to be whipped by a stranger while wearing designer shoes. It exposes the terrifying, mundane void of upper-class existence with a completely straight face.
Quand voudriez-vous commencer? Si vous vous appeliez Belle de Jour. Oui, si vous voulez. Il est devenu exigeant. Il vous veut pour lui tout seul.
I'm a very special human being.
1 hour before that, you'd been in bed with me. I put that smile on your face, you damned hypocrite.
Frank Perry's The Swimmer stars Burt Lancaster as Ned Merrill, a man who decides to swim home across his wealthy county by exclusively using his neighbors' backyard pools. It begins as a quirky, seemingly triumphant suburban adventure that slowly turns into a devastating psychological collapse. As Ned moves from pool to pool, his persistent optimism is chipped away by confused, angry, or pitying neighbors. He is completely disconnected from his own timeline. The movie strips away the illusion of the American dream, revealing a hollow core of debt, alcoholism, and shattered families. Ned's journey forces the viewer to confront the terrifying realization that you can lose absolutely everything and be the very last person to notice. It is a brilliant, agonizing watch that transforms a sunny Connecticut afternoon into a grueling marathon of self-delusion. Don't bother wearing sunscreen, because the burns in this film are existential.
Well, I've got to be on my way. I'm swimming home.
Crazy idea.
I think it's a brilliant idea. Well, what are you doing it for? Why do you want to do it?
Come with me.
I bet you never knew I had a big crush on you.
You did?
I was mad about you, out of my head.
We made love together in this pool. And you loved it, remember? You loved it. God, what a beautiful feeling. We could have swum around the world in those days. Peggy.
Ned Merrill, still bragging. I never heard anyone talk like you.
Come with me. Be my love.
That I've heard before.
Not for me.
You're no different than any other guy.
Oh, but I am.
There you were, smiling, saying hello.
But worst of all are the sneakies.
They creep up on him when he isn't even expecting. There's simply no end to their devilish ingenuity.
Come on, Wes, give me my dough.
They even get the police after him.
Sean Connery, Joanne Woodward, Gene Seberg, Patrick O'Neill, Colleen Dewhurst.
Sean Connery starred in Irvin Kershner's A Fine Madness as Samson Shillitoe, a poet living in New York City who has completely abandoned paying alimony or behaving like a functional adult. Samson spends his days aggressively writing, seducing women, and punching people who annoy him. He is a walking disaster. The terrifying reality arrives when society decides Samson needs to be fixed via a state-sponsored lobotomy. The film hilariously and darkly pits the chaotic, unhinged spirit of the artist against the sterile conformity of modern psychiatry. Even after doctors slice into his brain, Samson remains exactly the same miserable, rebellious poet. The movie suggests that true artistic genius is an affliction so profound that not even an ice pick can cure it. It is a bleak, genuinely funny indictment of institutionalized normalcy and the medical establishment.
That's the subject on the the agenda. Madness, yeah. Such a madness like you have never seen. They call it a fine madness. Then they gave him the golden finger. After that, he had a ball. The thunder of applause, all that jazz. Yes, in his new movie, Sean Connery pulls a switch. He hits girls. But let us scientifically analyze this here nutcake. Now, open his lid, and what do we find? A regular Geplatschuler vom Ispingen, dein Helve Scholgedungen. Or, as you might say in layman's language, one holy mess. No wonder he goes around hitting girls. The wonder is they don't hit back. Sublimate their reactions in the most verdammte, underhanded ways.
Don't you hit her! Stop it, or I'll call the police!
Such a brain witch! Put on his head.
Some get their father substitutes to do the dirty work. There's nothing they won't do. Of course, he's sensible and civilized with men.
You'll find me pretty good at karate.
But he's still hard on women. Is he mad? You should have such a madness. A fine madness.
How do I know you didn't go through the same story with him? It just doesn't make any sense.
It's true.
Martin Scorsese's feature debut, Who's That Knocking at My Door?, introduces us to J.R., played by Harvey Keitel. J.R. is a young Italian-American man in New York who spends his time drinking, referencing John Wayne movies, and suffocating under a mountain of Catholic guilt. When he discovers his intelligent, independent girlfriend is a survivor of sexual assault, J.R.'s brain short-circuits. He cannot reconcile his rigid Madonna whore complex with the messy reality of the woman he claims to love. Scorsese does not give us monsters under the bed. He gives us the terror of toxic male pride and religious hypocrisy. The film is hilarious in its depiction of clueless bravado, but deeply tragic in its execution. J.R. chooses the safety of his bigoted neighborhood buddies over genuine emotional growth. It proves that the most terrifying cage a man can enter is the one he builds himself, using rosary beads.
A few years ago, I was going with a boy. He was nice. And the last time we went, he seemed different, nervous. In fact, he hardly talked. He pulled off into a clearing. I didn't really think much of it. We had never really met, so the radio was loud.
Jacques Dere's The Swimming Pool is essentially 2 hours of extremely attractive French people sweating on the Côte d'Azur until someone gets murdered. Alain Delon and Romy Schneider play a couple lounging by a villa pool, doing nothing but applying tanning oil and looking vaguely annoyed. Suddenly, an old friend drops by with his teenage daughter, Jane Birkin, and the vacation rapidly devolves into a passive-aggressive nightmare. The terrifying reality here is the sheer velocity at which humans destroy their own lives out of pure jealousy. There are no grand villains, just fragile egos baking under the Mediterranean sun. It takes a remarkable level of cinematic skill to make a luxury vacation look like actual hell, but Dere succeeds. You will never look at a sparkling backyard pool the same way again, nor will you ever consider inviting your ex on a summer holiday. We often watch vintage cinema to escape, hoping to find a simpler time unburdened by modern anxieties. Yet, as these 5 films demonstrate, human beings have always been spectacular at ruining their own lives in wildly creative ways. Whether it is through swimming pools, brothels, or lobotomies, the facade of normalcy always shatters eventually. If you enjoyed watching us tear down the illusion of the swinging 60s, please consider exploring the rest of the channel. We have plenty of other videos waiting for you, packed with similarly questionable life choices and cinematic chaos. Click around and stay comfortably weird.